Hey everyone, welcome to the Scaling Deep podcast. I haven't posted in a while, and that's because I went away on a little ski trip, which was the first time I've had a winter vacation in a long time to a winter place, probably over 20 years. And we have this amazing province that I'm in with lots of smaller mountains than the giant one that I live next to. So it's a real treat to get out into smaller towns and some really cool communities on the other side of the province. So it was a long way to get there, but totally worth it. I'm so glad I did it. And I did that trip the day after I ran my first membership method workshop. So that was a real push to get that thing ready and then out the door. But the good news is that the workshop went really well. I had so much fun doing it. Lots of people showed up live and asked really great questions, and I cannot wait to run it again. So that is the good thing about doing something like a workshop, is that once you've created it, it's an asset and you can run it again, either through inviting people who have already seen the invite and weren't able to attend and really wanted to come live, or to new people. And it's a great way to have people get to know who you are and what you're all about in your approach and get some real valuable learnings out of it for your subject area. And a paid workshop, which is the first time I've run, is a really good way to do it because people are going to show up and they're really interested in what you're sharing. And that is a real treat, I should say, because I've run free ones before. And while a few people really show up and they love it and they're excited to be there, I just felt like doing it paid felt a little bit more intentional and I loved it. So I'm going to be running it again, and I will put it out to my list shortly, but I'm excited because it seemed to work really well and totally worth it. So on that topic today, I want to talk about numbers and just the fact that numbers don't lie, emotions do. So when we're scaling or we're thinking about creating a program that's one-to-many, or even if we're just ramping up our private services or consultant services or whatever it is that we're offering, it is really important to look at our numbers more regularly. And I know that a lot of us will say, yeah, but they're not huge, or I can do them in my head. But the important part is that we need to be able to fall back on the truth and not our stories that we're telling ourselves all the time. Our stories that say, oh, this didn't go as well as I liked, or it felt good, or it didn't feel so great because of these reasons. Like a couple things might crop up in anything we do, whether it's a launch or running a workshop or any piece of content we put out there that might trigger us into a story about it not being that well received, or not being appreciated, or all these things. Or we have an actually great experience running something and then we forget about that because something else comes in to shake our confidence. And that's why I like to say numbers don't lie, but emotions do, because our emotions can take over and tell us a different story. So what I have been doing a lot of lately is going back to my numbers. And I have an amazing tool inside the Scaling Deep Society, which is a sales predictor tool. And now I've been using it to track mine, but this tool was created to help people predict based on what they want to earn, but it can easily turn around and be kind of entered in the other way about what actually did happen in my business. Like how many people watched this? How many people clicked on the sales page after watching this? How many people bought? And really starting to look at that so we can go, okay, well, this part's working really well, but this was the gap in this system. And it also helps us see like, oh, we're actually doing quite well. So yes, we may want to convert everyone who comes to a workshop or joins a challenge or a summit into a client, but the likelihood is that loads of people aren't there yet. Some of them are just checking you out. Some of them are not sure they even want to go down the path of the thing you're offering, and they're just getting a taste of it. So there's all these reasons why people won't buy or won't buy right now, and that's okay. And we need to kind of get a sense of what those numbers are so that we can go, hey, actually, that's pretty predictable, or that's pretty average. So I'm actually quite on track. And yes, sometimes we want to, and we actually have fantasies about knocking it out of the park. It's like, yes, 25% or 30% of people will buy, but in all likelihood, it's not going to happen. And we need to kind of get a little bit more comfortable with the actual reality, which is that it'll likely be a consistent pattern. And if you start to see something that is getting a consistent result, then that's what we want to keep repeating so that we can then scale it and go out there and take more risks, because it's really about the risk and the speed that helps to create a business that can grow. We have to be able to do it quickly or we'll burn out from lack of movement, getting a bit down when we're not seeing results, because when we don't do anything, we don't take action steps, we don't see results. And then that can really slow us down when we really have to keep going and growing without hustle. And when I say without hustle, it doesn't mean that we don't have to put a little bit of effort in, but it means that we have to do something and repeat it enough so that we aren't recreating things every single time. Like, imagine if I didn't have comfort in my last workshop and I thought, oh, it didn't work at all, or I didn't pay attention, or I had crazy expectations around how well it would do. And then I chucked the whole thing and started from scratch and said, oh, I need to do some other kind of event, when actually the workshop went great. And now I just need to really keep doing it. So that's where we want to start building that efficiency, in that not creating things from scratch all the time. So that's where those numbers can help you really get a grasp on the situation. And you can look at, for example, do you need to get more people to see your sales page? And where can you put time, effort, and even money into getting that? Or do you need to, at the other end of it, actually create a more compelling offer, or even do a better workshop based on the feedback you get from it? So you can start figuring out what needs the most attention to make things go better in the future, rather than using your gut, which usually isn't a gut feeling when it comes to doing something like that, because we get too much feedback. We're too influenced by other people. So rather than just guessing at, oh, this didn't go well, or this part needs improvement, why don't you let the numbers help you figure that out? Because it's way better than just doing something we think is right and it's absolutely wrong because we just felt something about it that wasn't correct. So that's where I really want to encourage you to go out and do that and start tracking simple things. Get your analytics set up just so you can look at things like page views and start to analyze what is happening in your business so that you can start to look at things objectively instead of emotionally. Yes, your emotions are going to come and you're going to do it anyway, but at least the numbers can help take you out of that like spiral thinking sometimes that it's all amazing or it's all terrible, and actually go, oh, okay, this situation isn't so bad. What if I just put a 0 on all the ends of this? Then would that be okay? Because, for example, like you can spend $1,000 on investing in creating 4,000, and you can also put 10,000 in investing in creating 40,000 in outcomes. So I think that's where those numbers will help you gain confidence of some of the moves that you need to make to keep that momentum going. And it really is all about momentum. So that is my just quick pep talk today. I just wanted to point that out because I think there's too many people who are hesitating to do things or spending too much time on not the right things because they simply don't know what is actually working, and they're making assumptions and guesses that are maybe not true. Because, my friends, I'll just summarize it up again by saying that emotions lie and numbers do not. And that's where we need to put a little bit more time into that. So please come on over to the Scaling Deep website and check out the workshop, which I'll have a little pop-up when registration is ready for that, because it is a really amazing workshop that provides an overview of membership types, We do a lot of work on pricing and figuring out what to put in it so that you know how to price it. And it all comes together in a really fast 60-minute deep dive workshop with a half an hour Q&A, and it was really awesome last time and everyone was really excited. So I hope you come on over to check it out, and I cannot wait to see you in there.